if you can put on your wise sage hat and give some advice to young people. I mean, the past 4 hours have been a kind of advice, but if you can focus, and if somebody in high school or college is thinking about what to do with their career, can have a successful career or to have a life they can be proud of, what would you tell them?
I'd say probably the most important advice that I would give is to find a way to give value to other people. And this is really the key thing. You need to wake up every morning and figure out how to serve others. This is the key to everything you want in life. Everything that you want is on the other side of you serving others. So figure out how you can serve others in a good way, how you can do it in a way that they value, and you've got an incredible mechanism for figuring that out, which is the market. Go out there and do things for other people, and
the market will tell you.
The market will tell you, exactly. If you're young, you have the enormous advantage of being able to make mistakes essentially and learn from them. So go out there, do things of value for others, figuring out how you can do something that what is it that you can do that contributes the most value to other people's lives. And increasingly, I think with the modern technology, this is increasingly becoming online, and it's I think you should consider how you can create value online, because that scales beyond anything that you can do in the physical world in a very, very well, maybe not beyond. Obviously, there are profitable businesses in the physical world. But I think online is enormous potential, and coding, I think, is enormously powerful. I'm not a coder myself, but I strongly recommend people get into learning how to code. And I think it's probably the thing that carries the most power. So initially, we were working with our hands. We started working with machines. Machines are much more productive. Well, code is an even higher level of productivity, where you basically program the machines to produce things. So few clicks of a keyboard and you can move millions of machines around the world in certain ways. So it carries an enormous amount of value. I think I always tell all young people to learn to code. It's the best thing. I used to tell it to my students when I was at university. I tell them to drop out and go learn to code. It's probably a better use of their time and money.
We could probably do both.
Yeah.
University has an interesting function. I mean, probably you and I have different perspective on this. Probably has to do with a little bit of a different journey in terms of fields, because I've stayed engineering focused for a long time, and there's less, some of the troubles you might highlight in the education system, there's less troubles of that kind in engineering, because math hasn't changed for a long time. So it's a lot of it is just doing hard things, being forced to do hard things, and becoming a bit of a generalist, while on the side you're also becoming a specialist based on your own passion, driven by your own passion. So school, at least high school, I don't know about the university, but high school has a really nice, one of the only times in your life, at least in my life, I was forced, but now I see, given the opportunity to spend my entire day learning broadly. And that's something, I don't know, the way time works, it just runs away from you. You never really get a chance to learn quite that broadly again. That's the curse of specialization, is you kind of never get a chance to study biology, chemistry if you're a physicist. Time runs away from you. So it's enjoy the broad education. But yeah, like you said, find the things that valued by the market. And on the other side of it, you said all the good stuff. So that's also a way to get happiness.
Yeah. And I'd also add the horse that I like to whip all the time is the low time preference aspect of things, saving with Bitcoin. So I think my advice to young people is, when you're young, you think of the world in a very short term. Generally, you're focused on the present, and you think that everything that's happening in the present is the most important thing that's ever going to happen in the history of humanity. Lower your time preference, think about the future, think further down the line, think about the consequences of the things you do, and then what, and so you do this now, it feels good today, but then what happens tomorrow? You go out, you drink, you enjoy yourself. Well, think about the hangover. But more in long term, think about the implication of living this kind of life. think about every decision that you make, the long-term implication of it. And part of that is Bitcoin. Part of that is save in Bitcoin. I urge everybody to put savings in Bitcoin for the long term. Don't buy Bitcoin for the short term. Don't buy Bitcoin today so that you can sell it. Don't put your savings in Bitcoin today so that you can sell it all next month and buy a house. Put money in Bitcoin that you expect to keep in Bitcoin for another 5, 10 years or so. At least 4 years is what I recommend for people. So keep a low time preference, focus on the future, and save in Bitcoin.